computer. Fantastic. Ladies, welcome to this challenge. I'm quite excited. A lot of new faces, a lot of people inside the program. And again, I wanted to get you all here because I truly believe that the way we're gonna do the challenge this year is gonna be very different, despite being similar to the one of last year, because I'm now sharing, and I don't know what happened to my presentation here. There is gonna be obviously something that you guys can understand what's going to happen in this 21 days of us going through the holiday together. Obviously, the purpose of the challenge is for you to get throughout the holiday without really having that weight gain that most people usually have, and understand that at times it's not about the weight only, it's also about you know, the weight you're gaining is not really weight, it's just water. So it's quite important. Okay, so welcome. And again, some of you, and I can remember maybe Lamis, maybe Marcel, I'm not quite sure, but you'll be familiar with this slide. This slide, except for the mandatory part, if you want to win the $250, it was already similar last year. Okay, in fact, nothing like this has been changed, and today we're going to talk a little bit about that, and I'll get into that, but I obviously wanted to make it more exciting for all of you, and I wanted you all here today. First and foremost, because I want to thank you. A big thank you for all of you that Lamis knows specifically, Lamis, Marcel, I believe. And again, we're really doing really, we had up to north of 300 clients at the time back in 2016. Then, you know, COVID happened and, you know, we rebranded and, you know, there was a time which I don't want to say stop believing on myself, what I was doing, but really thought for a second that what we're doing was not worth, you know, to people. And as I looked into myself and I said, I don't have a plan B. I don't want to go back into gyms. I don't want to do something like that. I really believe that what we had before was amazing. I think we can do better. You know, we had sometimes, you know, I went on and you know, follow a few mentors, and I got my own coaches, and I say it all the time, the importance, all of you, except for maybe Catherine that I see you here, all of you understood already what it means to have a coach. Why is that important? Why is this something that is good for you? And then we had Lamis, we had a few people coming in, we later had Astrid, we have Coach Dory here that she came inside as a client before to become a coach to her own transformation. I got into a point that I start really believing on myself in a way like what we're doing here can actually make a change to people. And as I did that, so for that, right now in less than a year, what the impact we were able to make with people, not only to the numbers, but also the feedback, is life-changing the very least. And for that, I want to thank you, because I can only be a good coach with good clients. And this is the reality. It's like when you have good people that foster your message and everything, it can only happen in a certain way. And I guess that this is quite remarkable what we've been able to do. And we're just scratching the surface. We're just finally on the map. And I really feel like when it comes to lady over 40 with metabolic imbalance, correcting hormonal imbalance, you know, the way we do it, there is not much. Not many people do it this way. And I really feel like your feedback for some of you and like most of you that are here already speaks for itself. And obviously this is why we have this challenge. Last year, the prize, and I think maybe, I don't know if you remember, Lamis, I know you were here. The prize was something like $75. This is $250. Next year around, we think is gonna be something more so like 500 or 1,000, right? So that's why this challenge, I wanted this to mean something, right? It's gonna be a bunch of other stuff I'm gonna give away, but this, I'm gonna make you sweat for this. Whoever wins this deserves to win. Yeah, not that you guys are not really doing the work when it comes to mini challenges, but this is quite. I want this to be different, and this is what I'm gonna talk about today. And before that, I said I was hoping. I'm very bummed about it, to be honest, that, you know, most of, like, I want to say 95 or 98% of people that look like they're going to take the challenge is going to be people inside the program, which I'm happy about. But I really wanted to have a big group of people considering the program. I'm thinking people that I put, probably me and Dory and everybody put heart and soul into the past 6 months to a year to make them see why we're doing something different. And again, I'm going to talk about a quote in Success that I just saw before, yet it's quite remarkable. I said, for everybody inside the program, I want this challenge to be a no question. It's going to be free because it's like, you know, they already doing the work. They shop in the mini challenges and everything, right? Catherine, you're the only one that is not in the program here, and I'm gonna have a conversation with you if you really want to join, because the reality is that as we had in the past for this kind of challenge, we requested some sort, for people not in a program, we requested some sort of a deposit to say, show me that you're doing the work. You know, you're gonna get real resources. You're gonna have access to me, to Dory, showing us that you're not pissing over our work and actually doing the work. Because if you are, you're getting the deposit back, you're leaving us a testimonial, and the challenge can be free for you. What happened in the past when we did it this way is that people understood the level of transformation and they wanted to actually keep working on themselves. They had the choice to keep working with us or working on themselves. That's totally fine. But I wanted to, I put out several ads, I put out several stuff, and I said, for you guys that actually are not in the program, come and join us. Let's make this a real big challenge, 100 people, 200 people. And then I said, it's not even about the deposit. It doesn't have to be 250. It can be 150, it can be 100, but showing me that you guys are serious. And of course, for people in the program, you already made that choice. We don't need that, because it's like your choice is if you want to do it or not, but it's like it only makes sense for you to do it. And of course, it's free. Yet I put a bunch of incentive. I said, for people that are going to join from the outside, you know, I'm going to give away the second chance program. Let me see if I can actually pull it up. And this is going to sound quite funny, and I want to make it as funny as it sounds, because I want everybody to see the replay. And you have 24, actually you have 48 hours to understand the level of, if you're not taking this, to the level of what you're missing out. Because this is quite crazy. It's like, this is like real coaching, and it's not only going to be real coaching, but it's also going to be something that, you know, a lot of people put a lot of investment in themselves to actually get. And you know, it's going to be as a group. It's going to be like something really life-changing for us to be able to do the work together. And let me just see if I did put up I thought I did for the second chance. Let me see if I actually did, because I wanted to. Some of you already have this access. Some of you should have this access. And again, just for you are here, whether you're taking the challenge or whether you're not taking the challenge, and if you are inside our ecosystem, this is the second chance program. It's geared to people that, you know, struggle with, you know, emotional eating, right? And this was our program that is 20 weeks and counting in the past. Like, that was what we launched in the beginning. This is like crazy. It's like super crazy information, right? We had it for Black Friday for $97. Right now, the price is $299, and it's something that we do just by, it's a course right now. If you're a client of mine, you can go through all the content and then we can develop on the content, but we don't have a program for this anymore. We don't do emotional eating alone anymore, because obviously we do hormonal imbalance. Emotional eating is almost like kind of like a consequence, right? If you want this program for free, I'm just gonna give it out for all of you in the program, Catherine included. If you want it, I'll give it to you. Yeah, just type second chance. I asked initially Coach Dory if you can just take screenshot, whoever typed that. Again, just for you signing up for this challenge, you get it. I wanted to reward you. I don't want anybody to have in the future any excuse about saying, I don't have the material. I want everybody to have it. This is how our life worked before the Better Over 40. Type in the same chat that I'm sending you here. Same thing like here. Second chance. You are here. You might just well get it. I just want to know who it is. You can get it for free. Yeah, I'm just giving it out just for you to be here today, to have taken the time. Second thing I wanted to do, and again, it was going to be a different speech, but since that we have mostly people from the program, you already know about the success. You already know about what it takes to be successful. And the crazy part is that success comes from people that the boring yet repetitive yet useful work. And of course, the crazy part, and I just made a video about it, a reel that is going to come out in a few days. We are not hardwired to do the work for evolution. We're hardwired to conserve energy, to go to eat once in a while, we're not hardwired to go now and eat whatever we want. We want to conserve energy. We want to not do much. We want, and whatever. The crazy paradox part of success nowadays is that the industry, for whatever it is, business, fitness, whatever you want, is promoting the fact that you can get stuff easy without doing the work. That just do this quickly, just win $1 million quickly, just invest into this thing is going to happen overnight. They promote things to be easy. And it's crazy, the success part, because like success, for those of us that we respect somebody, whether it's friends, celebrities, whatever, all those people are the ones that work hard for that success. Yet it's being promoted to be easy. And it sucks because for the person that's going to believe this thing to be easy, there is always going to be somebody that's going to outwork you, right? So all of you here, I want to say pretty much all, know this already, that for getting results, you need to work hard. There is just people that work more harder than another. But you all know, getting a coach is only one step. And that's another misunderstood context about coaching concept. Sorry. It's about, now that I'm signing up for a coach, I don't really need to do the work. They're just going to have some sort of templates so that basically I can become another person. I can lose 20 kilos. I cannot just do anything, whatever, right? Wrong. I mean, obviously, that's almost just a ticket to get into the arena, like if it was a concert. You still need to show up. You still need to do the work. You still need to understand that it's just like we don't have any magic trick. But guess what? When you do the work, what happens? I just see a bunch of people here. Terry, like, I see a bunch of people new, but even the new one, I see Elizabeth here, just losing 10 centimeters in 3 weeks. I mean, that's remarkable. Like, that means like whenever you do the work, then it looks good because you get results. And guess what? Who is actually happy as well? And who looks like a magician afterwards? The coach. Even though we've done nothing but giving you the strategy, giving you the support, and giving you whatever you need, right? And so I said, I want to come up with a speech that really comes from the heart to make you understand what challenges should be like, because I want also to you, if you're not going to take this one, or if you're watching a replay, I want you to be intentional about the challenge you take in nowadays, because there is 3 types of challenge or seminar. Number 1 is the seminar, challenge, workshop, or whatever you take in that makes you feel good, that tells you, okay, we do a bunch of mindset here as well. They say a bunch of stuff that is going to pump you up because they deliver well, because they can have a good tonality, because they have a good personality, whatever. They say stuff that is going to make you feel like you're changing as a person, aka the Tony Robbins, all those guys, that makes you feel very good. And I went to one of those one time, not a famous one, but something that you go out from the room that makes you like, wow, I'm really like, wow. I'm like, okay. I asked somebody, oh, you see how good that is? And then one guy that was already, I guess, super famous, wealthy and whatever, it's like, tell me in about 2 weeks how good this was, because initially you're very pumped, but let's see in 2 weeks what happened, right? And those are usually the rah-rah kind of mindset, I'm going to make you feel like you can change, but let's see if you actually change. And by the way, to change, you need to pay me money. This is usually the frame about those challenges. Not that there is anything wrong with it. Yeah, I'm going to phrase this again. I don't like the fact that it's being exposed now to say that people that get a coach, get a mentor, whatever, they're making a mistake because they have to actually pay money for their change. I truly believe that that's what happens, right? Yet, a challenge that only makes you feel good is not going to be very useful. And I don't want this challenge to be one of those challenges. I also don't want this to be one of those workshop challenge, whatever, which I do recognize that sometimes it might be that way for us, that give a bunch of information, like so much information, that then the person is really confused to what to do with the information, which is so much that is so hard for you to do, because you always say, oh, if I cannot do this perfectly, then I feel like I'm wasting my time even to do it. Okay, and this is another type of seminar. Usually there is these two distinction. At least that's for my own experience. If you have another one that you think like there is a different type, you can actually type it inside the chat. Again, I wanted this to be a very collaborative approach. And before I say to what this is going to be about instead, which I totally forgot to do, I did not say how many people outside from the program actually wanted to join. 0. Yeah, when they understood that there was some sort of commitment, they pull back. And before we do that, which is crazy, I know, I see some faces like, I know it's crazy too. I think that too is like, watch the replay and trust me, you're gonna see everything today. If you're not getting in right now, don't ever ask me or ask us, and the coach included, to do coaching for free if you're not gonna be investing a deposit of $100 or whatever just to do it. Because this is the last time we actually do this kind of stuff. Next time gonna be $50. Like, I'm gonna actually get you to pull out your investment and say, okay, I'm actually paying for the coach, even if it's just something really small. Why? Because in one way, I think that, again, the same thing I said about the success, everything should be easy. But also one way that and it's a big ask, because right now there is never more question than now. A big ask for all you guys is like, and I know some of you, most of you already done it, you know, friend me on Facebook. When I put out something, like it on YouTube, share it. I just sent out a sequence inside the email and everything. I'm actually paying people inside you, all you guys, like, referral. If you're getting somebody in for Christmas, and Astrid actually did it. At least she sent out the link was before renewing with us, actually, by the way. And like, I need the message to pass. I can, as much as I can invest inside advertising, I'll be broke before I actually hit the number that I want to hit with the number of people I want to make in my mission, if I don't get help from you guys. So I can only get help like you, like in Reel, tagging people into Reels, going to YouTube, like my stuff, like if you have a friend, invite them into the group. If you can, they cannot join the program. If they join the program, I just said it right now, you get $250 instantly, or you get 1 or 2 months inside your coaching free. It's up to you. I really do. I believe I have a mission, and I have something that is necessary for people to see. When I see the level of mess of coaches that are doing right now, like totally worthless information to whatever. So it's like, I do have a mission, and to hit people, if every of you just hit another person and say, oh, come and see our group, check it out. And they say, hey, yeah, but I want to, I don't want to hire a coach. That's fine. Getting the group for free, getting the challenges for free. We do mini challenges for 6 months or a year now. Just get in, right? It's important. It's important for me. And this is why I said, I'm going to change the speech. And the speech is like, there are 3 challenges. The third one, which is the one that we're going to do here, is actually getting you to change in the moment, getting you to do the work, getting you all to be like today, most of you, be on camera, be here, be present. Yeah, like not only learn the information, but apply the information. There is going to be certain stuff that you're going to learn inside the holiday that if you don't practice to do it like multiple times, then it's going to be worthless. It's not gonna, like, you cannot just watch things and make you feel good like yourself, like you're doing something just to watch, and then don't pull any trigger and doing nothing. I mean, that's how most things are done, but usually that's lead to nothing. This challenge is going to be very practical. We're going to work with you directly. We're going to interact with you. And again, I'm talking about you because if you're in the program, you all have access to the app already. We're going to adjust things in there. We're going to put out some stuff. And basically, this goes to whatever the presentation is today, right? And we said it. This slide were very similar, except for the fact that now you're getting a bigger price. The problem is inside the holiday that the average gain is between 2 and 4 kilos. Yeah, I researched it again. And the issue is that when I tell you this today, why are you actually getting that weight is because a feast like that, it goes between, this is very conservative, right? 1,500 calories. If you do 3 or 4 days like that, you're basically adding this thing up, right? And people just say, okay, now I have 12,000 calorie excess in a few days, right? And it takes about 20 weeks, 20 days of work, not to lose the weight, but to prevent you from losing the weight. And if I go through this fast, don't worry about it, because one of the first talk is going to be about this. And I'm basically going to re-tag you in all the videos that I did last year. Plus, I'm going to do some new ones, and the practical one we're going to do together. But there is two things that you have to know. You can lose weight, and you can avoid gaining the weight. The avoid gaining the weight part, when you have an excess of 12,000 calories, which is basically 3 or 4 days down like that, it takes about 20 days of doing a 500 calorie per day deficit. So as this is not possible for most people, because let's be honest, who of those that the higher you go, 12,000, 30,000, 50,000, it's not about the usual advice that says, oh, just do those 1 or 2 days and then you do the rest of the day well. No, it's like if you're actually doing those 3 days, it's because your habits that you built up throughout the year don't match an identity to change. This is the reality, yeah? And you can still be one of those that does the 10,000 calorie challenges, that you eat all this stuff and then you just go and burn a bunch of stuff out. That can be, but this is quite tough. And people cannot mostly do 20 days of 500 deficit just to not gain the 1 or 2 kilos. That's hard. And as people cannot do that, you need to get smarter about it, right? You need to understand how can we actually do that? How can we do it better? How can we get smarter? And obviously, instead of maybe having those kind of feasts, you can just make those feasts lighter, okay? So that day you skip breakfast. Instead of having a lunch that is so heavy, you maybe have a little lighter lunch and then a small snack. And then in the night, you know that you're going to have the dinner, Christmas dinner or the New Year dinner, right? And again, we'll go deep into that. But just to have respect for what it is, we're not really not losing weight or not gaining the weight because of something that goes wrong in our genetic hormones or whatever. And this, again, there is 2 times in the year people gain more weight, holiday and summer. Guess what? Holidays because we eat, summer because we travel. Yeah. And therefore, we can come up with the excuse to say, oh yeah, we really have a hard time losing weight because we have hormone, genetics, and all that stuff, which is at some point also, they basically slow you down. But the reality is that you cannot be consistent for 20 days on a deficit. And it's very hard to undo a very high deficit. And then we quit. We come up with a new resolution in the new year, only to quit after 15 days. This is the end. This is exactly what it is. And so this challenge has a purpose of you doing the real work to avoid that. How are we going to do that? Well, partly you're going to see a video telling you exactly what we did here, right? And this is what one video is going to probably be the presentation of last year. And when you see the replay, totally disregard when it comes to the pricing, because this year is going to be very different. We're going to have a lot more stuff. But this is what we're going to do, okay? This is what we're going to do. We're going to have a understanding the metrics, how to get into the structure of the holidays, how to eat during the holidays. And again, when it says sessions, that means, when it says session, it means something that you have to learn, how to exercise, moving, the mindset around the holiday, how to gather the data without an emotional attachment, the theory behind it, how to eat during those times. And then, of course, we're going to go into the practical. This thing is all new because there was no practical last year. Traveling during the holiday. how to travel and eat when you travel. I know a few people, they told me today they're going out to vacation. Tracking food during the holiday, okay? Not during, tracking food during the holiday, right? That means we're gonna actually go into tracking, learning some stuff in MyFitnessPal for those days that we actually do in the holiday. So between 24 and probably the 2nd. Because we're gonna learn, because I'm gonna do it as well with you. I'm gonna track a few times. I'm gonna learn because we need to be aware. We're gonna actually have a scale post. We're gonna have a binge awareness post, meaning like we like to call it binge, but it's not really a binge. It's more so like you're gonna post what happens during those days that you think you're actually eating a lot of food. Some of you are gonna eat, some of you are gonna eat more, and some of you are gonna eat less. You know the crazy part is that a lot of people think that they're eating more than they're actually eating, right? And so I want to make sure that you are very aware of that. If you're eating too little, if you're eating too much. So it's gonna be a lot of work. And again, the winner of this will be based on the biggest transformation, not the biggest look transformation, the biggest overall transformation. There might be a clear winner, therefore I'm not even gonna run the spin of the name, the wheel, the name. But there is also gonna be a possibility to have 3, 4, 5 people that actually done the work, and I cannot choose the winner because it's like, okay, this is like everybody's doing really well. In that case, we're gonna also luck is gonna dictate the winner, because obviously you see that. But you know, I think that it's safe to say that whoever wins this will have undergone a real transformation, because you're gonna have learned all the keys to what to do during the holiday, but also to what to do not only inside the holiday, but what to do in general. What to do when, you know, something is when you travel, what to do, understanding the context about nutrition. Because again, I'm gonna force you to do all that stuff. Like if you're taking it and you're not doing it, you can also not do it if you want, but like you're just missing out. And another thing that we're gonna do moving forward in 2024 is that I'm gonna take the website, the current website, and I'm gonna basically step by step going through all the resources, and week by week we're gonna implement it inside our group. For people in the program the most, because I need you guys to do the work and get the maximum of it, but I also need one step at a time to actually you going through that material. And even people that see from the outside is like, oh wow, this is really cool. If the information was enough, we all be in shape right now. Like there would be no obesity. There would be no more information than I ever get. Diseases are on the rise, because it's not about the information. It's about how you implement the information. And this is why it's important for everybody to implement. So it's going to be an exciting new year coming inside the program. So what we're going to do here, just to get you to understand, all of you from the outside, that I'm still giving 48 hours to sign up. Message me in my personal message. We're gonna calculate we're gonna teach you how to calculate this for those of you that are not in the program, if you're coming in. If you are in the program, briefly, quickly, I hope you don't mind, Dory, because I'm gonna make a poll, but I think it's easier to do it this way. You don't mind me sharing real quick the app, that your account in the app, right? Like the one that you good. Okay, because I wanna show you what actually you get when you're actually doing some coaching with us. And again, you're not gonna have the new website, because that would be just a bunch of information that you get more confused than anything else, because I want you to concentrate on the challenge. If you are in the program, you already have it, so you can refer back to that. But basically, I'm taking Coach Doris' thing. If you are in the program, which most of you are, we're already doing this together. We're doing our steps, we're doing all that stuff. And I'm gonna give specific direction for you to change. If you're getting results inside the program now, obviously don't change too much around. But there will gonna be a time that I'm gonna say, for this week, we might track some stuff. If you want to do it, do it. But this is kind of the level of stuff we're getting. By the way, I'd like everybody to acknowledge the level of transformation Dory did for herself, because like I said, and by the way, this is not the first picture. First picture, she had a few more kilos on her. Look at how in shape she got in a matter of months. So I'd say I reach out to her, and it's like, hey, you're doing everything perfectly. Like, and aside from that, and she is also a teacher, I said, why don't you just come and be an assistant coach? Because that's quite cool that you are able to inspire so many people. And again, we look at all this marker when you're inside the program. So again, you would get access to this for 21 days just for you to actually get coaching from us. You'll get, she doesn't do a meal plan like that, but you can create a meal plan in here. We do that as well. You know, you'll learn how to track some calories, and outside from that in those days. So we're gonna do real stuff. And this is why I'm saying, like, guys, from the outside, sign up. What do you have to lose? Like, if you're not gonna take these chances, I mean, for real, what do you have to lose? Okay, but before we move forward, so I said, all of you already, we got some screenshot here. Whoever commented about the second chance, I'm gonna send it over to you. But the winner will win 250 cash. And again, it's gonna be done throughout the time. But there's another thing that a surprise that I wanted you to see today. And again, I'm gonna put the names in here, and somebody before Christmas will win. This is my mom's here, and these are the cookies. And I'm gonna send over this cookie because I want you to eat these things guilt-free and feel like you can still eat and get results. And this is my mom. This is what she does pretty much on a yearly basis. Kilograms of cookies, and like, you can only imagine how hard it is for me to not eat those things continuously. And I just, this is the video, and I wanted to share this with you all. Let me see. This is only like, I'm gonna randomly spin the wheel with this, and somebody will win these cookies once all plates about it. And again, it's quite, I hope everybody watched the replay and you know, sign up just for the cookies. This sounds like it's actually worth it. This is actually worth it. Yeah, so I'm basically gonna draw a winner. We're gonna validate that you can send it over where you are. I know that most of you are in Europe, so it should be no problem. I know that in US it's gonna be a big pain in the ass because I know that the US border is such annoying for that. So, but I mostly in Europe. So if you don't want it, to whatever reasons, I'm gonna take two or three winners. And again, please let me know. Yes, if you don't want it, and then we'll go to the second one. But I wanted this to be something really special because I want to take away this weird thing about, oh, I have to restrict during the holiday. I cannot have sweet stuff. No, I'm going to actually teach you how to have that stuff. You can still have it. You can know what to do the day before, the day off, the day after, and you can then really go away with, we're going to have a theory gathering data part, and I'm going to have then a practical gathering data. You're going to have a scale post. Let's see how much weight you're actually gaining, right? And then you take in your metrics, you take in your measurements if you are in the program. And obviously, also if you sign up for the challenge, we're not going to take your metrics now, before Christmas. You're going to take it after Christmas. And you're going to see, does my measurement change? Does my picture change? And does my weight change? The weight, chances are it will. But is it real fat? Chances are not. What did I do? Oh, I hate cookies. I mean, how cool it is to actually know that when you eat a pizza, cookie, whatever, you don't gain 1 kilogram of fat. This is actually pretty cool because until today, chances are I heard that if I'm not on keto or if I'm not doing intermittent fasting, I'm not going to learn anything, or I'm not going to lose anything. So I hope this is good. I hope you're pumped for this because I am. And I wanted you to be here for obviously at least be eligible to win the whole thing. If you're watching the replay, you can still come in. You're going to have to comment on the replay part all the way down. If you're here and, I mean, still comment if you want to help us, obviously, get the message across. But mostly, whoever is not in here and want to comment, you will still have a chance to go on the phone with me or briefly and to see how can we actually make sure that you're doing the work. Because it's fair to everybody that are already in the program that for such a challenge like that, you put some skin in the game. And I truly believe that's the case. But anyway, that's it for the moment. It's just an introduction to what we're going to do, what you're going to win, why you should actually take this, and what is the purpose of the challenge in the first place. this is quite important. And I really thought that this was going to be something that we wanted to. Any question about anything? I'm opening up for question right now. I'm going through my notes. I think I covered pretty much everything. This will be a challenge that you are gonna like, the very least. We're gonna have a mindset call inside the challenge. Mindset call inside the challenge. Likely is gonna be right after Christmas, because I know that that's the time when people feel more guilty about it. And then good seeing also Marcela, like you all watch the replay when you have a chance. It's gonna be about probably some self-sabotage kind of thing, because we have this feeling that we self-sabotage ourselves, when in reality sometimes it's only a feeling. Please, at this moment, unmute yourself and ask question if you have, or and get anything that you want. Any question about your particular case as well. If we didn't talk about a check-in soon, I want this to also be a moment that you can ask question. But hopefully you're all pumped. I really want you all to succeed in this, and all of you are already succeeding. So of course that's good. Anybody want to unmute and ask question?
Yes. Can I?
Go ahead. Yes. All of you. Many.
Is there also, we talked about food a lot. Is there also a challenge with training or well, exercising therein? Because I think that's the balance for me, that's really important.
Yes. So it's going to include, this is the only challenge that pretty much the big one like this, and I cannot foresee having another one like this before the summertime. I think that like this includes everything, food, workouts. Okay. So to answer the question for you, for instance, we wouldn't necessarily change your routines around. But what we're going to do, I'm going to basically just mute for a second, and then you can, I saw Tanya, she was unmuted, so after I guess you have a question as well. But we're gonna see what to do around the holiday time, meaning like, probably it's gonna be more than the workout being different, some more output, some more walking, some more maybe jogging or what, like we're gonna see that part. And again, that will be very individual to that sense. So it's not gonna be a challenge of one thing or another, it's gonna be about what you're already doing, wouldn't change much around it. And then from there, we basically gonna add those little things in there. So tracking the food, that's one ad. The scale post in another ad. That's another thing that you guys gonna be doing is the awareness post about what you're doing and how much days that you're eating on the holiday and drinking. And then of course, we're gonna say, okay, on that day that you did like that, maybe we're gonna come up with a very personal recommendation. It's gonna be probably me and the coach inside the group, and it's like, hey, okay, for those days, increase your output walking by, I don't know, a couple of thousand steps. Okay. Yeah? It's gonna be very personalized on that sense, but in a sense, I don't want you to all make modification as a template, because otherwise it makes no sense, because right now, pretty much all of you are getting results already because your recommendation is based already personalized. So
yeah, perfect.
It only makes sense to add stuff on those days that you're eating more or eating less. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Perfect. Thanks.
Fantastic. Any other question?
No.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Tanya, right? I thought you were.
Yeah. No, I exactly no. But I think you partially answered the question. I was wondering how personalized it would be on the macros, for example. So I saw those examples where you were saying, okay, if the night of we are gonna eat a lot, then we do a small. So how does that gonna be reflected on the macros? I guess we will have an intake of the full day, and then it's up to us to reduce that on, I don't know, on the breakfast, on the meal, and then have everything in the evening, for example.
Basically, like, let's say your current macros, unless there is a real recommendation being needed, or let's say your current recommendation would not change for the holiday, because it's just like, unless like you got to a plateau that we need to change it, then I think that it's always better to underestimate a little bit. And then when we get to those days, like, for example, you see here, and again, for some of you that are going to be new, this is going to sound a little bit maybe difficult or whatnot, but don't despair. It's going to be super intuitive after a while. those usual day depends how many of those you have, how many days of those, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's really the difference between, are you so diligent that you can really go into restrict throughout a long time, or you are a person that prefers to compensate right away? And this is the real thing, because it's like intermittent, like window feeding, which I don't like to call it fasting or intermittent fasting, because then it becomes like a set of rules that you're doing. Fasting for a breakfast might make sense on that day, but it doesn't make sense when you carry over that. Like, because you carry over that for a month, then you're now implementing a protocol which might do you more harm than good. But it could potentially be, for example, Tanya, would be, if you're eating 10,000 calories more and you have several of those, then obviously in one day you're not going to compensate it. So it could potentially be, okay, one day a week I'm fasting in the morning, right? But then you're going to go out and say, oh, I'm doing intermittent fasting. Or you're not going to mentally move to that because of the fact that you're gaining some weight. Does that make sense? Like, you owning some principles versus adopting a set of rules. Yeah, so that's important. So I would say the bulk of your recommendation, which is basically your app, and your macros and all that stuff, and the walking you're doing, the water you're drinking, I don't suggest that this would change unless you are doing something. And this is also partially true when, not only for the holiday, but also when you're traveling inside the holiday, or when you're traveling for the summer. Yeah, or when we travel, for some of you traveling for business. I don't see her here now. I know there's some ladies that travel, let's say 1 week in a month. And so we said to them, it's like, why don't we concentrate on doing weight loss for 3 weeks out of a month? And then the week that you travel, let's put a constant template for you to maintain when you travel. So it's like you have two really ways of living, right? Let's say, now I'm going to say an example. So don't take it like that's what we're doing actually, right? Like an example, it could be, we tracking the food when you're home, right? And then you are following a set of intuitive eating kind of stuff when you're traveling for 1 week. All you really need to do is not, you don't have to, let's say, gain weight when you, or maintaining, or maybe you gain 1 kilo. If you're losing 5 kilo, you don't want to gain back 5 when you travel. Does this make sense? So it's almost like you have two recommendation, right? And again, not that we need to do that with you. It's just like, it's something that I guess this makes only sense. But to answer, you will get basically a recommendation similar to the carb cycling challenge. Have you done that? Were you already here? So it's going to be something of that nature for those that took it. So it's going to be very much of a, you keep what you have kind of thing, but more so like we're going to add some stuff on top of it. And again, it depends on how many days are you planning to do of those. It's like, I'm telling you what I'm gonna do. Like, I don't never like to hit the day of Christmas necessarily. I like to be, when I'm gonna be doing this Christmas, I'm gonna be, I said, I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna be shooting. I'm gonna be shooting videos of, we have some new stuff we wanna shoot. So I'm not gonna not work, but I'm gonna have some fun the day before of. I'm gonna see some friends that we have always Aperol the day before Christmas, and then I'm gonna do something for New Year. For me, it doesn't really necessarily change, but I know that from people, especially in US, they go, Thanksgiving, and then the 24, the 25, and then some of them they carry over the 26. You need to be very intentional what happened those days, because those are days, if you're not intentional about it, those days are crazy. It's like, in those 3 days, you can pretty much vanificate a month of work of what you've done. I'm not going to say 6 months of work. That's not going to happen. But 1 month of work you can. And why? Because you are not intentional. You're not aware of what you're doing. You don't really, because again, let's say you're one of those guys, and this is going to be like the first recommendation, for example. It's like, then you just need to somehow compensate part of those in the day off. You skip breakfast those 3 days, or you make small snack into those, and then in the dinner, you eat, and like, because again, it's like going out on a weekend, right? Those that are restricting during the weekend go out on a weekend. I always say, if you're doing an amazing job, you can have your cheat days on the weekend. Why not? You actually give yourself a break mentally. But if you're one of those that you do 3,000 calorie effort in the week, and then do 4,000 in one sitting on the weekend, it's not going to do you very well. And then you look like you're stuck into the same place. But if you are those 3 days straight, then you need to do something the day off. If you're just gonna eat 24 in the evening, don't worry about it. In less than a week, you're gonna compensate that. This answer your question, Sanya?
Yes. I just trying to calculate how much I'm gonna be crazy about, the 24,
Very
25,
analytical. I think you're one of the
yeah.
most analytical person in the program. And
Okay.
Claudia, I think, one of the two most. You got
Okay.
like you already, but in one way it's good because you're planning ahead. But again, it's like you probably you get more clear when you get to the point. Don't worry about it. Just like
Yeah.
today, somebody is going to vacation. It's like I said, don't worry about it. Just go. It's like another thing, guys, girls, like don't be one of those that is like, I'm gonna be on a diet. Don't be like me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm actually not like that. Don't be like, just be with your families. Just eat those days. Don't holidays is meant to enjoy, you know, enjoy times with somebody sometimes that you don't see a long time. I mean, don't bump yourself down. It's like you want to be aware of what you're doing because simply you don't want to throw away 1 month of work that you've done very well inside diligently inside your health. But again, there is mindful deviation, and it's like whenever you don't see people from a long time and they tell you, okay, let's have this dessert with us or whatever, have it, because that's a mindful, like you're doing something that it doesn't happen very often. Yeah. While when the wrong way to see that is like mindless deviation is like when constantly you know that you're gonna have a habit every single weekend and you're like, okay, Friday night is like when people comes over, I'm gonna have 6, 7 cocktails or whatever, and you know, you can do it. Like, by the way, I'm throwing myself out of the bus. It's like I'm actually doing that sometimes, but I don't have a goal for the moment that I need to be 15% body fat. I will have that more toward the summer. So I'm basically rebuilding my metabolism in a sense, like I'm setting the health in place, like the habits in place. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. So if I want to have a few extra things right now, I don't really pay attention to, but I will need to pay attention from February on, or else it will not happen. In fact, I'm still really fixing the stress part, which is now I did many video about it. My stress test comes out that for some weird reason, I'm always in a sympathetic state. That means like my fat burning hormone are really dormant right now. And like I could basically go all the way in and I'll probably get a little bit of things back. So I'd rather go all the way in when I can go walk outside for maybe a few hours. And that should kind of like restabilize stuff around. But hopefully this was helpful as an answer, but you will get more probably as you move inside the challenge. Again, you did very well on the carb cycling, so I don't think you're gonna have to worry about this one. This is gonna be less detailed, and the other one was more detailed. Like this is gonna be a bunch of like learnings and then some practical intervention. That's it. Any question about anybody? Because again, go ahead, Claudia. Yes.
I have 2.5 questions.
Good.
Okay. The most boring first. Do you have like a kind of timetable when you will have like calls or sessions or something so that we can plan ahead with our holiday stuff?
I'll try to make it as the one that is going to be on Zoom. I can now recall one is going to be, for example, one inside probably I didn't put a date yet, but it's going to be, I wanted to do next Monday, but it's Christmas. So it's going to probably have to be something like, maybe I'll make a poll about it. Do you want it to, because he did it on a Tuesday or on a Wednesday, either the 26th or 27th. I'm not expecting a huge shop rate because I know a lot of you are traveling, but the mindset one needs to be a one that is like Zoom, right? But then for the other one, mostly, and not because because I'm lazy, I don't want to do anything, but mostly it's going to be a lot of tagging into what we did last year, because I truly believe that was a very valuable challenge. So there is going to be a few new ones that I go live. And for those, unfortunately, I don't have a timetable because, as you can imagine, especially for the support calls, sometimes they happen on different hours. And I don't want to block out hours and maybe somebody like you or somebody needs time on that day, right? So those one, you're going to check, you're going to see me live, but they're always, as you see them, sometime afternoon, evening. But I'm going to tag everybody on that. So you're not going to miss anything on the action. Then the Zoom call would be one. We might have actually one maybe the tracking food one, I'm going to make it a Zoom one that you can attend. But I think that those are almost better when I make live video, because I know that everybody watch it after. Because else it's in Zoom, sometimes people cannot join and you can still see the replay, but it loses really the power of that. I'm going to probably test out one that is live and then maybe make it like a Q&A live that in the StreamYard, I just realized that there is an option that you can just be added to the conversation. So you can almost like be pulled into the live. It's almost going to be something like this. And you can be there and ask question, or you can just ask question down or ask question later. Again, it's going to be a lot of, and some other post, practical, will be about an actual post about, I'm going to post, let's say, my food, and I'm going to say, this was what I ate, and then just do the same down, and then put your ingredients. We're going to calculate it for you, whatever. So it's going to be a lot of those kind of things going on. And mostly because, honestly, if I did the same video as last year, probably it's going to sound better, because like I truly believe that when you do over 1,000 videos in a year, you become better on camera. I do believe that. But I'm scared at times not to cover some stuff that I know that were covered already. So I'm saying, like, in order for us to make it effective, let me cover like the one that is going to be traveling through the holiday. I know I'm going to make one, whether it's going to be a live or a Zoom, I'm not sure of. But that one is probably going to be at some point also next week, because whether you're traveling before or after Christmas doesn't really matter. Because that's going to be one that it happens the same thing like inside the summertime. Next one like this is probably going to be in the summertime, and we're going to talk about that again. I believe that there is less people traveling throughout the holidays than there is when they go to vacation. I think so. But I still know that traveling means also traveling to your families, and then how do I have to eat when I travel? And that's answer you're going to find in the same thing like when we have the days that we eat more. Partially also answered today. The other question you have, what it was, because this one I don't have a better one answer than that one.
That's fine. The other one is like how to deal with the tracking of food that you don't do yourself. Because for me personally, it will start like in 2 days, because my husband has birthday before Christmas. So party season is just on in 2 days, and baking and stuff. If I do my stuff myself, I know what I put in, but when we are going to family, when we are meeting friends, I don't know. So how to track stuff you don't know?
I wish
without making a photo and wishing for
making a photo. Well, see, that's like, this is something that obviously that goes with a traveling part kind of thing, because whether it's traveling vacation, whether it's like, they're gonna be learning that you do inside the lesson. It's probably gonna be one of the first one that I do, because like I realized that actually people start already traveling and cooking and stuff. Traveling or like doing food when you are, let's say, traveling to a holiday or something. Let's say you have a buffet. There is a specific way to tackle a buffet, and I'm gonna talk about that, because that's similar to, it could be traveling for vacation, or some people are going to hot summer places now inside the holidays. But then when you just said, that's something different, because it's like, you're right. If you can make it yourself, you know what goes in there, right? But the best case, and again, you're going to have to become a little bit, let's say, curious about where you're eating. You're going to have to ask your family or whoever cook this kind of stuff, what do you put in there? I know you're probably gonna make them crazy, because you're gonna ask them exactly all the ingredients. I don't mean that.
Jerry,
yes.
If I will ask my mom what's in there, she will literally tell me, oh, that's healthy.
Yes, I know, but just try to use more or less whatever you learn from the tracking. What you're gonna do, you're gonna take a big picture, you're gonna post it inside the group, and you're gonna put your best estimated case scenario, right? Which, by the way, this is the same thing when we track food. Remember when we did, I think you're already here because you've been here a very long time too. We did a tracking challenge, a tracking with MyFitnessPal type of, maybe you, I don't know, I think you did it. You're already here. Some remember, I'm sure. Tracking like MyFitnessPal for a week. We did that one time. We did a challenge, right? So one thing that we did on that, we always overestimate, not underestimate. We try to, if we hit 3 eggs, which is 60. You can go from, let's say, 250 calorie to 400 calorie, depending on the size of the egg. We always use the bigger one. Because in this case, we always have, you know, to, yes, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, this is another way, what Lisbeth just shared inside the chat. You all wanna save this one. It's another way to kind of like calculate, estimate your calorie king is a good one that kind of like teaches you more or less what's going to happen. But again, it's not a guessing game. I don't like to call it that, but it's more so an intuitive educated guess. It's like you want to take the picture, you're going to put it inside the challenge, inside the group. You're going to put at your best case to whatever your mom says or whatever you think is in there, right? Whether the big things, you were here, I think you saw a replay, I don't know if you were, I think you were here or saw a replay of the Q&A last time that we went into recipes, right? I think you saw that video, that I went into how do we cook. It should come to relatively easy if you implement those things, how to what's the difference between a healthy souffle and a souffle that is actually not healthy, even if your mom tells it's healthy, right? What's the difference? Into that, it's like, it's obviously
a lot of cream.
The sugar, exactly, the cream, right? The cream, the sugar, the cream. Then probably instead of white eggs, you put whole eggs, right? Then instead of like, I don't think the flour or the organic flour or the actual flour are gonna make so much of a difference when you know the quantity, right? But as you can use that common sense, you pretty much want to go with the worst possible combination that can come up. The worst, I'm going to say it again, the worst possible, more caloric bomb combination that can come up. Guess what? Anything, if we compensate that one throughout the time, 3,000 calories of tiramisu, for instance, it's going to take us either 500 calorie times 7, right? 7 times 3, 7. My math is terrible all the time. 500 times 7. Yes, we got it. About 330. Or you can choose to either have 1 day of meat day fast, right? Or you can choose to do like 2 days of 700 calorie deficit, and then you can have more stable the other days to TD. You can even go to maintenance. Or you can have, you see how that's the logic of how you kind of like want to do it, right? But to answer your question, you want to compensate the worst, because if she says it's healthy for real, and maybe it is, kind of, let's pretend. Then you're compensating something that is bigger in calories. So you're already doing well. And again, we're trying only to get by with the holiday season, with you feeling good inside your skin. And guess what? When you take your metrics the day after, maybe few days, I would probably say a few days after Christmas, taking the metrics, and then you take the pictures and the measurements, and then the weight, it will make a lot of sense. Because if you gain 3 centimeters, and if you forget about the picture, because picture changes all the time, but the weight is 3 kilo, and then you gain 2 centimeters, okay, maybe there is some real gain that you can compensate, but realistically should look most of the time like no centimeter change, maybe half of it because there is some volume of the water, and then maybe up to 3 kilo difference. So big change in water retention, yeah? That's gonna be compensated throughout time, okay? So this is how that my best educated guess. By the way, guys, and mostly for the coach, mostly for people, I don't see her here, she's gonna see the replay, probably Cecilia. By the way, you guys that you already are, I'm thinking of her because somebody that goes to a bodybuilding stage, she keep learning all the time new stuff. I know that whatever she does here is a fraction. She goes around and she listens to podcasts, she keep looking at new things about how to get to a really low fat percentage. Like, if you guys have another tips, which I haven't touched on, maybe because, not gonna lie, I don't know everything. I don't know maybe one thing that somebody doing successfully. If you have any other tip that you're using, or I'm thinking of Dory as well, that she got to a very low fat percentage at that time that you were using, you can share it. Like, what do you use to compensate or go into it? Because anybody that get to those percentages, you go from a tracking point of view at some point to sometime you're going away from tracking, because it's like, now that I know that this much is 100 grams of rice, I don't need to track this thing all the time. I know that that's work. I know that I'm doing, if I'm taking white eggs all the time, if I'm taking xylitol all the time instead of sugar, if I'm doing popped cereal rather than just oatmeal or whatever all the time, I'm already using, if I'm doing pancakes, I'm already using a lot of high volume food. If I'm doing, instead of eating nuts all the time, I'm eating a bunch of like highly fiber and high water fruits all the time as a snack. Those are small little things you can do throughout time to improve that. Because again, remember, it's a compensation game too. It's not about you not eating that dessert. It's about what you're gonna do before and after that. But not only for one day, for through all your all time, through all your all month. Yeah. And then I think you have a more question.
Yeah, one.
Go ahead.
How to that's also something, because it's starting so early this year. How to tackle this? For me, it's like when holiday season starts, my sleep rhythm gets totally bursted, because like some nights you're awake until 4 in the morning, the next day you're sleep in until 12, and then everything is messed up. How do you deal with that?
Yeah. I wish I was the right person to answer that, but as you know me, I'm not. But anyway,
so is there a rule, like if I'm sleeping the same amount, it should be right, or is there a
no, I mean like this my
sleep more, eat less?
No. Sleep cycles is always like is something I'm relatively like active into trying to improve. But even if my sleep cycle maybe is fast forward and back forward, I try to always sleep the same amount of hours, and I try to get woken up the very minimal time of times, meaning like to have some quality sleep between 6 hours and 10 hours. And again, the problem is with the holiday, and honestly, I'm gonna give you an answer that I know it's not maybe so precise, but I think that that's really the way you should see it. Don't pay attention to those type of time, because like you almost like going to sleep at that time, because like obviously when you wake up and you eat so much, or let's say you're eating a lot, your metabolism becomes inflexible, your hormone, especially insulin, are putting on to real stress. And therefore, like if you get more insulin, you sleep better with the carbs, but then you also get a little bit groggy when you wake up. So I'm not gonna say to touch your sleep cycle, which is okay normally, just for the sake of that. But yet again, I'm gonna probably say don't worry about for that much, because it's just in the holiday for you. It will be more worrisome if you were something like for example me, sometimes it's really late, sometimes it's really early, and then it's all messed up. And this is the same thing like with people that are nurses, with people that do night shift, or people that travels like hostess and on planes. That's the hard part, because then you have time zones. Like you totally change your melatonin cycle because you have time zones. But for this one, I mean, don't worry about it. Try to get enough sleep. Try to do whatever it needs that day, whatever you. And again, remember, probably your body is gonna be probably really happy. You have to see it structurally what's going on metabolically. Like you now added strength training in. For a while, you were doing a lot of cardio, so that's a new thing you did already. Then you probably you adding in some more food, which for somebody that restricts a lot, then is something that can be beneficial for that. So try to sleep enough. I really don't have, there is no template, honestly. Not, yeah.
I just wanted to ask before it starts.
Yes, it's good that you ask it. It's not, believe it or not, it's actually a good question, but I can go into real briefly what I'm watching some webinar for my own sleep and everything. And there is really something that you need to pay attention. You need to prioritize sleep. So the problem with people that sometimes they try to go to sleep later than they should be, because they think they have no enough time for themselves. So they are like really busy in work, and then they go home. It's like, I want this time for myself now. Sometimes it's for me. And that carry over into watching Netflix for, instead of an hour, maybe it's 2 hours or 3. So that's one thing. So prioritize. So get to sleep, even if, and it's gonna suck, even if you are in bed and you're like, I cannot sleep. It sucks. And now I learned, honestly, I learned to do it like you know, it's like, okay, until I'm really sleepy, I'm not going to go to sleep because I don't think that I'm ready to make that happen, to feel like I'm losing 1 hour standing up. And I do, and again, I don't want to sound this like you might have this as well, or somebody else might have, but when it comes to a converted cortisol curve, like meaning like cortisol in the morning is supposed to be really going up and then go down. And instead for mine, it goes up a little bit and then goes down and then it goes kind of up in the night. It doesn't really fucking matter when you go to sleep. You're not going to sleep right away. So why not watching TV if you, whatever, if that makes you happy, huh? But if you, sounds like you sleep really good, so go to sleep, prioritize it. And one thing that, and this is for all you struggling with sleep watching, even replays, you have to be really aware of why you're struggling with the sleep. Is it fragmented sleep? Is it like you sleep a lot and then you need a long time? I know there's a few people in the program lately came in, they need to stay asleep, and so they take some help at times, and that's going to be making you sleep early, but then also making you groggy when you wake up. Is it fragmented? So is indeed there, or like mine, that you're up in the night more wired than in the morning? So it's like, because that's like cortisol issue, and that needs to be framed into a physio. You need to correct that with exercise, walking, water, some supplements, some work with a lot of, like when it comes to, you know, cortisol fixing problem, right? The other one is like, is it messed up because some of you have kids, right? So if your kid doesn't let you sleep, or the cat or the dog, you can say I don't sleep well, but that's not because of you not sleeping, it's the dog or the kid. Or else we cannot throw the dog or the kid outside the window. But like, but I want you to be aware of that. Yeah. So that's one other problem, right? And then are you one of those that you stress for something, or some stressful stuff for work, for your personal issue, whatever, and then like you cannot sleep because you start thinking about it? That probably the best one you can actually do with the psychology part. And you notice I never throw out a sleep challenge. I never throw out a focus on why am I not doing that, even though sleep is one of the big marker inside the metabolism. Because the way I fix it is with the physiology, making sure you eat enough, making sure you drink enough. Because if you're one of those like me, it's going to be very hard it's going to be a lot of work to fix it. And I could be as much as like doing everything else correct. If I don't get the cortisol to convert, then it's going to be hard. But luckily, and I'm not going to say you're not one of those, you don't sound like you're one of those based on what you're telling me. So I would say sleep, you want to tackle it this way. And one day then I'm going to say, okay, now I think I fix my sleep. I can actually be compelled to do a sleep challenge. I know we're going to get a bunch of people getting to the program for that, because I know people struggle with that. But I cannot do it if I don't have a perfect formula to do it myself, because I feel like a hypocrite then. It's like, I cannot teach you something I haven't mastered yet into that way. But I can definitely fix it with the hormonal part, which most of you are, which is like not eating enough, not eating carbs at the right times, not converting the cortisol, maybe some magnesium supplements, some other stuff that you can take. We can actually do that. And as soon as they come in the program, sometimes people fix it like that. Because sleep is related to your cravings, energy or lack of energy, moodiness or nervousness or whatever. And obviously all the nice thing that cortisol does, aside being one stress level hormone that then you retain water, does a bunch of crappy stuff. Without cortisol, we'll all be dead. So it's quite important that we have a person, which I'm not gonna name, that struggled to produce, and it's a pain in the ass because she's been doing from day one in the program everything to the T, and like, why can I not see the results? Like, yeah, it's hard when you have a real metabolic issue. Funny part is that we work with people with metabolic issue. Funny part is that 98% of the people that feels they have one, real one, they don't have one. Which then means that you should all be happy, because as long as we fix the big one, I mean, all the other one around it, you're going to get real results. Doesn't matter if you're 40, 50, or even 60 years old. So be happy, because like you still have a bunch of real progress coming over. But Claudia, I hope I was good enough. By the way, I remember about the strength training part. Feel free to post all your things inside the group, and I'll be more than happy to, and tag me so I actually get it. I'll be more than happy to make any adjustments. I saw your routine, and again, 3 or 4 exercises, it wasn't in the app, but I think that also the one that you requested, those 3 routines, the one that can be, basically it's like home, but with weights, heavy weights, those you can integrate those with the one that you're already doing, and it's going to do you very well, because like you basically doing free weights in that routine. And unless some of those machines, like I made same comments sometime with Lamis, some unfortunately they are not in the app, and not because they're bad or good machines, is because that app is an app that people can actually add them in if they want to, like people, coaches can add them in because it's like a third-party app. But also, sometimes some of those machines are not very physiological. So I remember there is one that you hold here and then you do twisting abs like that. Never do that machine. That can actually damage like your spine for like because spine can only twist by 5% degree. If you put weight on it, and then you basically going out of range with the weight on it. It's like saying like you were in an accident of a car. I would want to sue the gyms that they have the machine still in there. I have no, and again, it's poor biomechanics, like owners, they don't know that they're doing that. Another one that is really bad, I have to see them. But the one that you sent, that were all right. It's just like, the app doesn't have it, and then makes no sense to have it inside. But please, yes, ask more.
Sorry if I'm talking too long. One of the questions I had, because I was also trying to like do part of the program you gave me and stuff they put in there in the gym. The thing is, I'm a little bit unsure how to combine them, because the program you put together is like a little bit, if I do that 3 times a week, it still is okay, because it does not put pressure on everything every single time. And when I combine them with the stuff in the gym, sometimes it feels like a little bit heavy, or maybe I'm so unexperienced. I don't know.
No,
so
it's
how to combine best?
So the one that you send me over is only one routine that you repeat 3 times when they give it to you, something like that, right? Normally.
That was their idea. I don't do it like that, because that would be boring, and I would not do like 3 times of their routine and your 3 routines, because then I'm very busy.
I was gonna tell you. So, and now how many times do you still do your practice cardio part, like your practice? How many times?
So before Christmas I did 2 times, and after Christmas I don't know, because our coach is going on surgery.
Okay.
She's gone
2 times
on
a
Friday.
week, right? Okay, so you already have, and you have more cardio, and that's it. You don't do more anything.
That's it.
Okay, good. So basically what I suggest you do is like you either do that one routine by itself 1 time, and then you choose out of the 3 that you get. Each week you choose 2, the one that you prefer. Because like you said, multi-frequency is now what actually works. And science finally proved that as well, because they thought in the past that you needed to train only 1 time a muscle. And you need to do, let's say, arm day, leg day, and all that stuff, right? Now we have push and pulls, and we understand that you can have one leg exercise 3 times into the different routines. But I don't suggest you taking your routine and then putting them together with mine. That would be like too much like on a fatigue point of view. So you need to kind of like do yours one day, and then the other one, you choose 1 or 2 or whatever, right? 4 times a week you can still do in the gym. I suggest you start with 2 or 3, because you still have your cardio. Even if you're used to it, it's still compensation. It's still like, instead of burning, let's say 1,000 calories, you're only gonna burn maybe 700, because you do now for years and your body gotten used to it. Yes, Terry, if you guys need to go, don't worry, yeah? Just go, you can see the replay. But anyway, I would suggest you do that. And that's why I was saying, like, the one in the app you already have, and then just put that. Honestly, it's gonna burn, best very case scenario, maybe 200 calories, I would say, about that. So you just add those up. You don't need to get really, how do you say, very analytical about it. It's not important. It's like, that creates the work you do in the gym is to create a structure, not to create a calorie burn. If you want to see,
I never tried to count the calories in there. It was just like I used the app to like say, oh, I did this kind of exercise now 3 times, like 50 reps with that weight.
Count the volume. That's actually pretty smart.
Yes, and that is why I was asking also in the group if somebody maybe knows an app or something like that to count that, because now I count it with notes, which means like every time I'm putting in every single set with every single weight, and it just takes time. So it was just like impractical, and I didn't want to make it with pen and paper.
I know that's the way that I used to do it when I started like 10, 20 years ago training. But anyway, the one that you have in the app still does that, right? Like you can still see those 3 one that you have, you can still see the volume, right? Like you post. Okay, so that one is already the volume. The only thing that you do there, you have a couple of big exercise and then a couple of isolation exercise. I would really take the volume of the big exercise. The high isolation one, even if you use many reps or whatever, it's not going to make a huge difference. But it's important you asking this, because this is like important for everybody to understand. In 2024, we're gonna go a lot into strength training, a little bit more than now, than what we do. Meaning, like, I'm gonna give you some more practical as well. And the volume is important. You see, we have the weight, more weights, and then we have the reps, and like 3 times 10 or 4 times 10 or 4 times 12. That's the volume, right? The volume, they don't have to, one time you go up and up and up and up. You're going to get to a point that you cannot go longer go up before get to overtraining, right? So there is something that is called maximum recovery volume, or some between, let's say, 25 sets for legs, for instance, into 30 sets for legs, right? Like that's a maximum recovery volume, right? As long as you're within that frame, you're going to be fine. That's why I don't like, you also don't want to be, much like tracking calorie, you also don't want to track so much to the detail about that. If you're not a bodybuilder, I'm going to ask Cecilia, but I don't think even she does it. I don't even think she does it. And you see, you can still get to that lower percentage, not doing all that. But that's just to give you perspective to, on a safe side, as long as you're doing the one in the app, you're already doing fine, right? But then aside from that, what else? Yeah, that's about it. It's like, it's gonna be the big thing that make changes. So like the fact that you actually do in the gym now, it's a big change for you. You should see some body composition change. One thing that we might need to do with you, and we're gonna see that that's the case inside the challenge, what happens when you're eating more? Because I would want you to take the measurements and picture before, and I want you to take them 27 or 28, really see what happens, because for many people might be a weight gain because they don't have 2 or 3 hours cardio per week that they need to do with the dancing. You do. And that might be something that you instead get very beneficial about it. Body recomposition.
I will not do the cardio in the holidays because dancing is closed.
You've done it before. You've done it before. That's okay. You're still compensating that, right? So it's like, let's see what happens, because that might be beneficial. And guess what? If you have 10,000 excess and then you divide that by a week, and it's like 1,000 excess per week, and then like you're getting a better body composition, and the measurement says that, and the picture says that, and the weight says that, guess what? We're gonna raise your calorie then, because I know that, in fact, we should at some point also do that already. It's mildly, because now you're doing it in the gym, and you need to feed those muscles.
But you have raised it like a lot, like,
yeah, but
even more. Okay,
could be. We need to see those measurements. That's why it's important that we keep taking those and see what happens, because aside from that, that might be one thing that we do. One win for somebody else, one losses for somebody might be a win for another. So if you have not ate a lot of food for a long time, the holiday is going to only do you well, right? Yeah, first, sure, I see that some people need to go. Okay, that's it. That's about, I don't know if somebody else has some more question. I'm here to answer anything you have. But it was quite interesting and cool to start. Anybody else that has any question or?
I have a quick question. Cherry, am I on? You know, I was hibernating for maybe 3 months with not tracking food, not eating much though, but not going to the gym, no workout, but just steps and walking.
Mhm.
And now I think I need maybe a call with you, because
Ah.
maybe you need to design the workouts, the machines and all for me, in addition to the macros and
Yes.
calories. I didn't gain weight, but I just need to go back to
Yeah.
like when I started.
Yeah.
Like,
So
I
a lot
mean,
of you were, but first and foremost, you know, as Dori told me, it's like you got the job, right? Like I don't remember you. So,
yeah, yeah,
so I mean,
it's
the
great.
leaps that you did in here, like mindset wise, amazing, right? And I know that you also talked with Massimo, and I know they was
Yes,
keeping you
yes.
accountable for the mindset part. So I'm really, really proud of what you did. And then it was a time that, like we said, like he said, you must lower the stress somehow before that you see real body changes as well. That's what's important. So it's good that you did. But yeah, now we can, I would say, yeah, get a check-in call with me. I would say probably you want to be doing that in between, not this week, not before Christmas, after, because Christmas you're going to hit more anyway. I would say go through the challenge. And in the meantime, we're going to find some time to give you some recommendation for that. And then it's going to be the challenge you're doing, like everybody, a little bit different. And then you're going to jump into the rest when it comes to the recommendation. And again, then the strategy is going to be that one. And then Dori, she will make sure that you are supported to making that thing happen. Meaning, like, if you still struggle with something that has to do either with mindset or has to do with your logistics, that has to do with your work or whatever, we need to ensure, number one, how many times can you get to the gym? Number two, why is it hard? You know what I mean? It's like one thing I'm going to have you all do, and this is going to be in the challenge, post your plan. This is something, by the way, this is something on the website, and still haven't seen people doing it much. You know, post it can be it doesn't have to be something fancy like a timetable, but it can be something that you write down. It's like, this is when I have my workout, this is when I have my cooking part, like this stuff. Much like in work, you need to go into a Google calendar and kind of like schedule everything in. The successful people that you see, that all we look up to, and talking about people not only successful in the mindset but also in the wealth and everything, they actually schedule time to talk with their partner, which is crazy now, but like I'm just giving you an extreme example now. So it's quite important that we schedule the food, we schedule the workout, because one of the things I get the most still, which is crazy, not with you guys so much, but more so people that are getting on the phone to see if they're a good fit for the program. It's like, I don't know, I don't have time to cook or to eat, so to work out. Okay, but I say, what do you mean? Like, we all have 24 hours. What do you mean? It's like, oh, because I have this and this. It's like, and I said, why don't you do an audit of your time? An audit. It's like, just write down a piece of paper, everything you do for a week, and how much does this take, right? And then I just saw my colleague Danilo, she was actually put this thing in Italian the other day. It's like, between the time that you're watching, let's say, people, not you in channel, people watch Netflix, the screen, social media, the phone, that's like 2 hours, 3 hours, 1 hour. It's like, you have, like, I don't know, some of them 5 hours in a day. Are you telling me that 3 times a week you cannot schedule to go to the gym? Or even better, that you can actually do in the house, because we have that option too. If you're telling me this, is because you don't plan it. It's not like you don't have time. Of course, you want to make time. We have some example, you know, people that has kids, you need to, if you need to get them into a gym that has like daycare, or if you maybe want to make sure that somebody has babysitter, somebody watching the kid for the time you go to the gym or you work out in the house, you have to get it. Yeah, sure. Good seeing you, Elizabeth. Thank you for also to come in. You all can see the replay, by the way. And again, it's like, yeah, it's like, you can do it. There's no excuse for the time. Find an excuse for something different than the time. Because unless and there is 1 or 2 people I can remember in this program that they travel 320 days out of the year, which is like some you know, celebrities or sport or superstars, or like, except you're one of those, you don't have a time excuse. You just have a poor time management excuse or time effectiveness. Like that's exactly what it is. And it's not about saying that I'm any better. It's just like about saying that now it's time to actually work on it. It's like time to actually do this work, write it down, and try to implement it. And then out of the implementation part, you say, okay, this is where I struggle. Okay, this is like I struggle to get to the gym. I struggle to, much like some of your emotional leaders, when you have an emotional eating episode, not say, I'm going to do better next time. Okay, let's actually write a plan down. Okay, I'm going to sit with my emotion. I'm going to avoid buying this thing. I'm going to count until 10. I'm going to, even that's the case, if I live in a time of in a place inside the world that I can actually go to a gas station and buy it at 12 a.m. in the morning, I can actually go in that time and do it, not keep it in the house. That's a plan. You can only, two things you can do with that plan. You can actually do it, or you're going to be very clear into what goes wrong in the plan. And guess what? When you know what goes wrong, you can fix it. When you say, I'm going to eat now and I'm going to fix it next time, it is not a good plan, right? And you can also say, by the way, and yeah, you can get _𝐘𝐨𝐮 guy, don't worry. You can also say, by the way, I decide, right, like me, right now, I have some cookies I'm going to eat, like in these days. I decide that I'm going to have those things. I'm going to be aware of what I'm having. I'm going to have those things, right? And I'm going to, like, it doesn't make me a bad person. It's just a choice you're making. What you really say, you want to be aware of what you're saying that time, Lamis, is like, I don't give a fuck about my results for the moment. And I'm going to be okay with that. Like, that's what you need to, because that's a reality. Because if you did give a matter of that, you probably would think it twice. But again, you're not, it makes you aware. If you can own your decision, you're fine, right? But the crazy part, I did a reel months ago in the summertime. The crazy part that most people say, I really care about my goals, yet your action shows you something different. I'm eating this thing mindlessly. And then they don't get, like, they don't connect the two. It's like, you can do your choices, just be aware of it. And you're saying, I don't really care about my results now. I care more about the 5 minutes of happiness I get from the food, which is totally fine. You just need to be aware of it. Yeah. So this is kind of like the way to tackle stuff. But to answer, hopefully, I hope this answers. But yeah, will jump into message me privately. I'll give you anything.
Okay, so it's just no need for that. I mean, it doesn't interfere with my holiday challenge.
No, it's not going to interfere. I would say,
okay,
since that
no
you have
problem.
all this going on, I would prioritize the holiday thing now, because
Okay.
knowing you are so very analytical. You want to be doing things more to a perfectionist type of thing. Like, you then want to do very too much to what you can do to this challenge now, and then in between we'll set some stuff into place as well, because again, it's quite important. Okay. Okay, fantastic. So those of you watching the replay, you're going to learn a lot just from the replay. If you are in the program, just message me. You can start. If you're not in the program, you have 48 hours until now to actually get started and still be eligible for everything. We'll see how to get you in. Like I said, I need some skin in the game, and you agreeing to be a testimonial for it. You are in the program already. Most of you are already as testimonials, but again, if you were to not want to be a testimonial for the challenge, no problem. That you are in the program already. Okay, so no problem. Anyway, again, thanks a lot to all of you. Thanks a lot to all the ladies in the program and in the group that are not here today, but they're very much contributing to our success, to my success as a person, to my success as a coach, to your success, because now it's been like the 10 times only probably this month that I heard it. Some people watching your testimonials, like, oh, I saw Pilar, I saw Marissa, I saw Cecilia now. I saw some of you even watching some talk very specific about somebody that watches and is like, oh, she's like same culture like me. Oh, she's traveling like me. And then you basically convince yourself that something is gonna work. And I'm telling you guys, that's like 50% of something working. Yeah, I did. And let me just, since we have it here, let's just do this thing once. Like, this is actually pretty powerful, and I want to leave you with this something mindset tonight. It's pretty powerful. is the Tony Robbins cycle of success. Because if you believe yourself that something is going to work, that you're not going to gain weight inside the holiday, then you're going to have, your potential as a person is going to grow. Your potential to take action, and you're going to take it. Many times we have actions that are taken on a belief that we don't like. It's like, I don't think I can do it. I don't think this is going to work. I try so many diets, hasn't worked, so I'm always a person. I was that person not so long ago. It's like, I don't think I'm going to have a successful business like I want. And I was reinforcing that belief. My potential was low. I was taking very small little action, not with intent. The results were showing up as little intent. This goes in reverse. When you start believing something is going to work, you can go back and watch our self-belief call for mindset. It was an hour long. Your potential is going to grow. Your action is going to change, and your results are going to be massively different. Why is that important? It's because if you come in with a belief something is going to work, something is going to work. Yeah, as long as you have the right strategy, the right support, is a blend of things. Time they ask me, how is your program? Is it just the nutrition, just the training? Yeah, if you're 20 years old, that's okay. But when you're 40, no, it needs to be about hormones. No, it needs to be about stress, about sleep cycles, about lifestyle changes, about feedback. It needs to be very, very personalized to your unique needs. But guess what else do you need? You need the support to make sure that 24/7 you never have a question unanswered. You need the support of other people like you that succeed inside this group. You need to be the last one, which is basically what I just said, the mindset. You need to believe something is going to work, and you need to have the habits and that mindset to continue, not only to do it for a month, but to continue, because guess what? When the motivation dies because the results slow down, there is the law of diminishing returns, and most of you probably know what that is. It's like the more you go up, the more effort you're going to have to put, and the less results is going to show, right? And therefore, you only can go if you have plans, if you have routines, if you have habits, and if you believe something is going to work. Because if you don't believe, you're just gonna stop back into a default. Hopefully, this was quite interesting and entertaining as well, because obviously I try to give answers in a way I can teach somebody something new as well, because I know that a lot of people can benefit from this. Yet, thank you for being here. Thank you for contributing to an amazing 2023 for me. And I predicted to be my 2023 of rebirth, in a sense of putting on the map something new, about changing life. And I really feel, and I get many times I ask this question to the new people coming in the program, what made you move forward today? Oh, because you were genuine. Oh, because you feel like you're talking with a real person, not something templated. Oh, because I really feel your passion. I really feel you want to help, you want to change. I really feel that. And in a era like today that we're going more towards AI, and it's going to be one day somebody looking like me and you feel like it's me and maybe it's something AI, could be potentially, obviously not really, because I'm going to always try to be me. Yet it's kind of crazy because it's very hard to be genuine and unique. And if I can do that, it's because you're reflecting, what you guys did. And I predict 2024, we're going to stop scratching the surface and we're going to smash it for real. So it's like, we're really going to go out, and I'm going to always try to evolve. And I want everybody to feel this way as well, because I know that some of you are going to be, you're longer here, Astrid, Lamis, Claudia, Marcela, you're amongst the longest. People watching the replay were here before, some of them are relatively new. I always beg you to embrace changes and innovation, because if we do an innovation, it's not to disservice you. If we have more time or less time or whatever, it's not because we want to make something more harder to you. But they always say people that embrace innovation, they're the one that changes for real. Because realistically, is that you see it all the time. You see it with the iPhone, you see it with all the big thing going on. They always have innovation, and sometimes innovation doesn't sound cool, right? But when I'm able to say I'm putting system into place and I get more results, you're all gonna be happy. Yeah. And I always wanted to brag for my program to be very, very personalized in a sense. Like, I also want to connect with all of you. I want to be there all the time, to a point that at some point we're going to find ways to keep that what we have, but also to find a way to put new stuff in there for people that, we have to say it, unfortunately cannot go into top masterminds. Some of them, they really need to come in with something lower than that. Yet I cannot give you something you don't need. I need to make it systematic. I need you to make, first and foremost, to get you to come to this type of calls, and I'm talking about now to the group, to actually show up to this, like Catherine, Catherine did today, showing up to this thing, interact, engage, because I have no doubt that when you hear me, you want to be a part of this. But you can't do that with an ad. When you see, oh, okay, this, like, you need to understand what we do. And the problem is that I cannot help you if you don't help me helping you. And I don't really care. Like, the group is free. Come inside and interact and embrace changes so that you can become a better person, meaning like your mindset change. And guess what? When your mindset change, if you have an app, if you have some minimal coach, because this is what's going to be about this. Most of you are going to be in the group, but those of you that I hope you sign up to actually be in the challenge, aside from that, you're going to realize that you don't need calls every single week personal. Like, you don't need that as long as you can buy into your change, buy into the fact that you can be changing as a person. When you realize that, we're going to be able to scale this business. We're going to be able to have people that, yeah, they're not into masterminds, but maybe you are then into something a little lower that you can still change. And we're going to always try to do ways to get into a point that, not selfishly, but I want to still hold seminars. I want to still hold this thing live. I would love to travel into all these places you got from Poland, Norway, Netherlands. Like, I would love to see all these places and all master, like, one-day seminars in there, stuff that we cannot do online, pairing myself up with a gym and then go inside the gym, and it's like training you for an afternoon and showing you the level of training we need, showing you what to do. And so in order for us to do that, we need to grow, and we can only grow with your help. And so for as much help as you give me, I'm asking for more. Go for help. And again, thank you for taking your time, and welcome to the challenge. It's going to be a massive one. Few days from now, we're going to start. Embrace it, do the work. Some of you are going to sweat for this. I'm going to be, as always, to my personality, a little bit harsh to sometimes. You get a little bit tough love, but you're going to have to sweat for this. Obviously, not for the amount of money, I can care less about it. But I want you to earn the transformation you're getting through the holidays, so that you can actually feel like, fuck, this challenge was different. In this challenge, I didn't feel good, or I didn't learn so much information. I actually did something, which is boring at times, repetitive, annoying. What the fuck is this guy making me writing down my Google Calendar? Why is that necessary? Well, if you haven't never done that, maybe it's necessary. Why is necessary to get out of my way? And now this is not the challenge for it, but now it's necessary to talk to send out 30 resumes, to go in person to asking for a job, to feel really uncomfortable, right, Lamis? Why is that necessary? Because guess what? After 6 months, you get a job, and it changes your life. And now you have changed yourself as a person. Yeah, it's not about fat loss anymore. It's about confidence, about your body reflecting confidence, about you being a confident person. I hope this nailed home to whoever who sees the replay of this. It's like, you, over here, we don't just do weight loss. Over here, we change people. Is you decide to change, for sure. And I'm going to give 100% credit to you, Lam. It's not, believe me, what I did, I remember walking outside in the summertime a year and a half ago, even before, it was more than a year ago, I remember walking specifically on the phone with you one time. It's like, and you said, we were really all feeling a little bit weird. I hope you don't mind me sharing this, yeah? Because I think it can touch somebody so deeply. And you're telling me, oh, I feel a little bit down because, I really want to be thriving for my family and everything. And and we were talking about what macros are you need. And I said, okay, I'm going to give you specific thing for your body now, but you have two jobs this week. Not only you have 2 tests this week, one homework for your nutrition and for your thing, and one homework for your mindset. And we talk about for an hour, what do we need to do to get you to find a job or find a job, right? Which, by the way, you found that job right away. And then now this is a new one, which I'm so proud of you, because it means like you were not happy there and you find something better. But we said, oh, what do we need to do? Very specific. You go on LinkedIn, you get your resume, you print it out, you send them. And I said, guess what? The most difficult one is you going outside every day to give 1 or 2 a day, because it's like you need to talk a language you don't know, right? And I said, it's uncomfortable. But guess what happened when you get out of the comfort zone? Magic happens. I think you can testify now for that. And I'm so proud of you, because that's a real change. Like, you're one of the higher success on that like, and one time I'm going to ask if you want to make a video about it, because I really think like that's massive to change somebody's life. If you can change another Lamis around in Poland or whatever, like, I think that's massive. Like, yeah, it's incredibly, like, I'm so grateful that you're part of this, because like you, and by the way, and full disclosure, I said it multiple times, and like you, as we restarted after COVID with this thing, with this project, you're one of the first. And I always say, like, you helped me believe in myself again as well. So like, I'm really proud of you. So much grateful for you to be in here. Ladies, thank you so much. I'm gonna put all the names in there that was present inside the call. And for the cookies, I'm gonna do it this way, because I feel only like I only feel it's fair, including Catherine, that even she's not in here yet, including her. Like, I'm gonna put those and I'm gonna make the spin, and that's gonna be the way that we do it. For the 250 prize, I will reopen only for 48 hours, but anybody inside the group that is in my program can still join, even if you're not here. Just come on the replay and you can still be eligible. For the people that actually join with some sort of like commitment after that, I need to make it available, obviously, because obviously it's only fair for also them that they don't even know well who we are. But again, hopefully, aside from prizes aside, hopefully you enjoyed this. I'm gonna send out a second chance to everybody that commented. Just that alone, I think is worth your time. Do not get overwhelmed. That system was opening 1 week at a time, just not to get you overwhelmed. So you'll see 20 weeks, but you cannot access with 20, because it's like, don't feel like it's broken. It's just opening up very slowly, because I want you to do one thing at a time. Feel free to post in a group about it if you feel it's going to only open more eyes about emotional eating. If you are in my program, in this program, as most of you are, we can talk about those things. If you have an emotional eating issue, when we have our check-ins, you tell me, yes, I saw this video. What about, yeah, we can see how that implemented to you. So I'm excited about this. It's like, next time around, I'll try to figure out a way to, on the front end, to get more people in. But I really feel like I wanted a bigger group in the summer. Probably the next time we know something of this nature. I haven't thought about yet. But then in 2024, we're gonna have a lot of challenges coming up. It's gonna have the mini challenges as always, and then we're gonna open up a different group only for people that get to know us, for them to come into a weekly challenge, meaning like something that in 5 days you learn about what it takes to fit into over 40, meaning what it means like to lose weight on your 40. And again, probably that's not going to be very interesting for most of you that are in the program, because that's going to be separated. And by the way, that's not like what you have it's a different, that's a small fraction of an intensive that you're in. So you're not losing out any way, shape, or form. You're more than welcome to come if you want. But again, that's that. Catherine, hit me up on Messenger. We've been talking. I would love you to take it. So let's get clear on a few things, and I'll find a way for you to take it, because you've been here. It's only, if you don't take it, it's only really penalizing you, because you could be potentially the winner. And I really let's find a way for you to take it, because you're the only one not in the program yet. And I really want to testify to the gratitude of that, because honestly, I was thinking at least maybe 15 people outside. And it's really sad to see how people shoot themselves in the foot. It's like, I don't see it. It's like, why don't you just put down whatever you have? Like, getting it back is like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's kind of crazy. It's gonna change your life, this challenge, for those of you that take it. And in the program, of course, is like something that they get automatically. Thank you so much again. It's almost 11 o'clock. It's been almost 2 hours. So thank you for your time. Enjoy your night. See the replay, watch more the replay, especially my cookies. And
what are we supposed to do to win the cookies? What are we supposed to do?
It's gonna be out of luck, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna take everybody inside this call today that came, because I took some screenshot and I asked Dory to write them down. I'll see. I'm gonna ask my mom a huge favor. I'm gonna see if we can do at least 2, because, you know, like, I know she has some extra. So the biggest problem I have with the
extra.
Yeah.
You are the cookies, Lamis.
You know the crazy part about that thing? Not so much is gonna be left from that you saw, because like
I know. That's like my mom. She's cooking and baking for a company, and you think nobody can eat that, and it will be gone. I don't know how.
Like, she already has the name of, you know, all the relatives and shit. And it's like maybe 20, 30 people. I said, I need a few things.
To all the ladies in front of some doctors or in front of whatever. My mom is putting the cookies to all of them. It's amazing.
I'm telling you, it's like 50.
Your mom is Italian, right?
Swiss. No, but
Swiss.
yeah.
Oh,
my aunt, she does the same thing. But out of 50 kilos of that thing, yeah, it's gonna be some leftover, but not many. And I'm gonna see, okay, if I can do at least maybe one bigger one and maybe 1 or 2 smaller one. I'm gonna try to take 3 drawing out of the thing. What's bumped me out the most is like that I really need to check the countries, because I know we have a lot of Norway, I need to see how the border are, not to get them either lost or whatever, because it would be a pity if you win it and then it's lost. And obviously we'll need to go on lock on that. I'm not gonna disqualify anybody. I'm not gonna say like, okay, if you're in US, I don't know where you are from, Catherine, but I don't know if you're from US, or if you're in US, it sucks, because I'm not even gonna try that, because I used to live in US and I know you're not gonna get it. So in US, anybody watching, unfortunately, even if you said, oh, I want to pay for them, it's like, I can't. They're gonna get lost. You're not gonna receive, and it sucks. But for all of you, I'm gonna try to get at least 1 or 2 done, and like hopefully we can send them over. And it's gonna be partly about luck, about the spinning the wheel kind of thing. For the rest, instead, you're gonna have to earn it. Like there's not gonna be any randomness in somebody that wins the 250. In Germany, you'll be fine, like Claudia. So I think you're gonna be fine. So yeah, no worries. Okay, no worries. Okay, fantastic, guys. So watch the replays, watch everything. And again, no perfectionism here. As long as you do 80% of it, you're gonna be totally fine. The more you do, the more it's gonna be rewarded. But also, if you do 25 different posts, it doesn't mean you're gonna be the winner. Posting 10 times the same thing, it doesn't guarantee winning. It's gonna be about the biggest transformation. I described what an amazing transformation looked like mentally. We saw what what an amazing transformation looked visually. Like we saw, for example, Elizabeth just started 2 or 3 weeks ago coming in. We saw with Claudio, an amazing transformation also over throughout the bolt. It's like changing really the way you see things, letting go a lot of belief. So I can only really see that I'm seeing a bunch of transformation here, which it makes me really proud of what we do. Okay, guys, that's about it. Welcome to the challenge, and again, welcome to what's gonna be the holiday here. Take care.
Yes. You too.
See you in the next videos live, and we'll probably have a Zoom after Christmas for mindset. Take care.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Christmas, and
Bye. Merry
be in touch inside the group.
See you. Bye.